Hey, you beautiful people. It's your girl, your favorite Cuban German, Rosalie. Welcome to the Ultimate YouTube channel where we go all around the world to explore cultures, music, psychology, philosophy. The list goes on, and I'm honored you're here. So make sure to subscribe, hit the bell, you know the deal. Today's shout out goes to Ryan, who said that he desperately wants to see a reaction to Corey Taylor Snuff, the acoustic version. I look it up, and I discovered that this video has been watched on YouTube alone over 149 million times, and I was mind blown. And then I realized my brother, BP, Black Pegasus, did a reaction to it from the rapper side of things. Go check him out on YouTube, Black Pegasus. And I thought, you know what? Let's not waste any more time. I gotta check this out as well, clearly. So let's check it out together. Corey Taylor Snuff. I have no idea who this is, what's going on. Actually, let me look it up real quick. Since we're all about world music, we need to know where we're going, right? He is a renowned American singer, songwriter, and musician, best known as the lead vocalist, of Slipknot. Okay, I've reviewed Slipknot a couple of times, so duh. Corey Taylor. I'm still new to the world of Slipknot as well. Just been reviewing a few songs here and there, so forgive me that I didn't recognize that that's the lead singer. But his song, Snuff, was put on YouTube years ago. Let's see what it's about and what's going on. Like I said, make sure to subscribe, and also go check out Corey Taylor on YouTube. Go subscribe to him on social media and all the places, and let them know that I sent you. This is a great way for you to show the music industry and these artists that we're here to support. Not here just to copy or steal the music, but actually adding intellectual property and commentary, using fair use for what it was meant to be used, and here to promote and support. So let them know I sent you. All right, guys, you ready?
I'm gonna play you a very heavy song for me. It's just hard to get through. So I'm obviously gonna need all the help I can get on this. Are you ready? Bury all your secrets in my skin. Come away with innocence. Leave me with my sins.
I'm going to pause real quick. I'll go back. Don't worry, you guys. I'm going to pull up the lyrics for us in just a second so we can talk about those after. But I've got to say, there's something about real music where it's just stripped down to the acoustic guitar and someone sings, just lays their soul out, their life's pains and struggles, and you have a whole crowd singing along, knowing every single line. And to think that this is where music becomes powerful. This is where music is art. It's not just a performance. It's not AI. It's a lived human experience, and you can't produce that with a computer. This is real and it's raw. Sure, computer music and synthesizers and AI and all these things can evoke emotion in us to a degree, but there's nothing to me like live music where you have real lived emotion that you can share with one another. It brings people together in a whole new way.
Bury all your secrets in my skin. Come away with innocence. Leave me with my sins. The air around me still feels like a cage. Love is just a camouflage. No one resembles rage. So if you love me, let me go. Run away before I know. My heart is just too dark to care. I can't destroy what isn't there.
Wow.
Deliver me into my fate.
Ooh, that rasp.
If I'm alone, I cannot hate.
That grit in his
I don't
voice.
deserve to have you. My smile was taken long ago. If I can change, I hope I'll never know.
can almost feel the weight of this, the pain of this.
Still press your letters to my lips. Cherish them in parts of me. Savor every kiss. I couldn't face a life without your light. All of that was ripped apart when you refused to fight. So save your breath, I will not hear. I think I made it very clear. You couldn't hate enough to love. Is that supposed to be enough? I only wish you were my friend. Then I could hurt you in the end. I never claimed to be a saint. My own was banished long ago. I took the death of them to let you go. So break yourself against my stones and spit your pity in my soul. You never need any help. You sold me out to save yourself, and I won't listen to your shame. You ran away, you're all the same. Angels lie to keep control.
Ooh.
My love was punished long ago. If you still get on, never let me know. You still get on, never let me know.
He was not lying when he said this would be hard to get through. And I appreciate the honesty. It doesn't feel like that was something interesting or poignant to say just to get people's attention. You know, it's not a performance. Like I said, this is real music. Someone standing there with their guitar, singing from the depths of their soul. When he said that in the beginning, it changes the atmosphere, right? You're preparing people for a song. You're letting them know this is going to be hard, but you're also making them feel included. I'm going to need all the help I can get. And so, of course, everyone's given that permission, not that they needed it necessarily, but they're given that permission to sing along. They may have sung along either way because this seems to be a song that they love. Corey Taylor's voice is amazing. I want to talk about that for a second before we dive into the psychology behind the lyrics and why this is so profound. I love the warmth of his voice. I love that there was a build up towards the grit and the raspiness. That was beautiful to me. It didn't just start that way. There was a build up. And it didn't feel, though, like it was performed. It didn't feel like, oh, let me show you what I can do with my voice. I'm going to start softly, a little bit airiness. Then I'm going to bring in the grit at just the right time. Now we're going to have a crescendo and I'm going to reach some of the higher notes. It felt like he was simply singing from a genuine place. And just like feelings and emotions go, you might start sad, you might start somber. And as you keep thinking about a topic, you feel anger rise or passion or a craving for justice or anger about the injustice or the pain of having lost someone or losing yourself. And now the emotions get more intense. You get more angry. You scream, you plea, right? It felt like genuine emotion. This wasn't a performed song, right? Because that's doable. We can have beautiful songs that sound wonderful, but the composition is arranged. The vocals are performed in a way just so to evoke a certain feeling. There's a psychology behind it, behind the instruments we use, where we play the strings, what type of time signatures we use for the drums, when we bring a run in or when we add some rasp. But for the true artists among us, you simply are being. You are breathing your art. You're being. You're expressing your lived experience, and it comes out this way. And that's what this felt like. And I think that's one of the reasons that Corey Taylor's work, this song in particular, this beautiful stripped down raw emotion, is so powerful because this is real. This is what we long for. Give me someone who knows what death looks like in pain and loss and suffering, who is willing to sit with me in that darkness. And the lyrics are profound, and we'll go over them bit by bit in just a second. But they're profound because it makes me think of, read a lot of Dr. Irvin Yalom's work, including his autobiography and other works of his. And in one of his particular books, he was sharing the story of a client, of a patient, and of course he changes quite a bit of the details and the name, etc., and gets permission by the clients to share their story. But it's done in a very artistic way that you wouldn't know who it's about. A lot has been changed, the name, the identity, but it's so informative, so educational, and so inspirational. And in one of his books, and one of the stories he shared of one particular client, I don't remember all the details, but I just remember knowing that she struggled with a lot of pain and a lot of anger. There was a rage about her. And it took a long time for there to be any type of breakthrough with her. And it's not that even a good therapist may reach moments of frustration or disheartenment because they don't feel like they're getting through or nothing's changing. But what struck me, what has stayed with me, is that Irvin Yalom stayed with her in the process for however long it took. And at one point he even described it, and I paraphrase, as staying in that black tar that she was stuck in. That tar of anger and pain that she just couldn't get out of. He stayed with her in that. He was willing to face her darkest darkness and her demons with her. And again, that doesn't mean that a therapist might not have moments of frustration, right? Therapists are people. They may go home and take notes and process and go, I don't know how to help this person, and they're just pitying themselves and I don't understand. Right? There's plenty of feelings a counselor or therapist may have. They're allowed to, they're humans. But ideally, the heart should be for that patient, for their client, for the person they're trying to help. But how many people, not only in a therapist-patient setting, but also in a relational setting, how many of us are willing to sit in that tar of someone's anger and pain? And that's what these lyrics made me think of when he spoke of that darkness. My heart is too dark, just too dark to care. It made me think there are people out there where a little hug, a little pat on the back, a little encouraging word, or 3 steps to breathe better and deal with your anxiety is not enough. They are so deep in darkness. They feel so darkened by life, by their being feels dark, that they may feel like they're not good enough for anyone. They'd rather people leave before they cause anyone pain or get hurt further themselves. And the solution is not just to say, get over it, or, you're pitying yourself, snap out of it. Even though we may feel like that at times because we feel helpless. A lot of times the way we interpret the world around us is due to our own perceptions and our own frustrations. But to be able to love someone back to health, mental, physical, spiritual, that is a painful process and a journey, and requires sacrifice. And how many of us are willing to sit in that? And I just see here a person who is deeply hurting. And like I said, he wasn't kidding when he said this is going to be hard to get through. You felt the heaviness in the room. I feel the heaviness. The riff of that guitar was so fitting. The way that it kept tagging and carrying the song, it felt fitting to the emotional weight of this piece. And the way that he swallowed and had to breathe through it, you could feel the weight, the pain involved. Bury all your secrets in my skin. Come away with innocence and leave me with my sins. Which is interesting because later it speaks of angels, and it's just this duality I'm seeing here between innocence, beauty, something angelic, and yet sin and darkness and pain. To bury all your secrets in my skin makes me think, and this is subjective, makes me think of someone who is willing to give their all, who is willing to immerse themselves in complete intimacy, where you are willing to allow someone else to tell you everything they've carried, their deepest, darkest secret, into your skin. This is not just hand them to me. This is not just, you can tell me. You're allowed to bury them in my skin. That's who I am. That is underneath, deep inside of who I am. And I would be willing to carry them there. You are welcome to bring them to me. I would keep it safe. That's what I'm hearing in that first stanza, in that first verse. Come away with innocence and leave me with my sin. An exchange, perhaps, right? You are allowed to take away innocence. You're allowed to be free from whatever pain and sin and shame you have felt. I will keep the sin. It's a beautiful conversation of a love to consider that someone would be willing to take all your burden and leave you with the innocence. You get to take away the beautiful fruit, the peace. You walk away. Ideally, that's what we would long for, right, in relationship with God and religion, for someone to bear our sins and carry the pain that we've experienced, and we walk away with peace in exchange. Or in a love relationship, in a friendship, in a counselor-therapist setting. Ideally, we would want to be able to as a therapist, as someone who wants to heal and help other people, take away all that. You get to walk away with innocence. I see here a beautiful love at first of someone who was willing to truly be there for someone else. The air around me still feels like a cage, and love is just a camouflage for what resembles rage again. And this is interesting to me now because we're not just going from a beautiful love conversation, very beautiful songwriting, by the way, phenomenal poetry. We're not just talking about, hey, I'll, take your sins. You get to have innocence. You can, your secrets are safe with me. I'll take them deep into myself. Now we're speaking about feeling like the air is a cage. Picture that. This is not just good poetry and songwriting, even though that is what's happening here too. This is real pain. Imagine, and many of you don't even have to imagine, feeling the air, the very thing you need to survive feels like a cage. You are trapped. Love is just a camouflage. So what we just spoke about earlier, this exchange of sin and innocence, is that really love? Or is this just a camouflage? And there's actual rage. There's actual unhealthy dynamics here. If you love me, let me go and run away before I know. When he first sang this, I thought he means, I'd rather you walk away before you end up hurting me, right? Before I know how this is going to end, I'd rather you leave first. But now he says, my heart is just too dark to care. I can't destroy what isn't there. I'm wondering now if this person is pushing the other away. And this is so well written because I see a duality here. On one hand, perhaps one person asking the other, tell me your secrets. I'll carry your sin. You can walk away with innocence. Is it that same person that's now also saying, I don't even have a heart. My heart's too dark. I can't destroy what isn't there. I can't destroy a relationship or a love that doesn't even exist. This love is a camouflage. This is all fake. Whatever we had isn't really real. Or is this the other person responding? The person who's being told to walk away with innocence and to share other secrets? Is that person the one saying, I can't destroy what isn't there. There's no way to destroy a relationship because there is none. Who is the one speaking here? Or is this a turmoil within oneself? Maybe this is not just a relationship with someone on the outside, but within ourselves. This back and forth of wishing you could love yourself, leave your sins behind and walk away with innocence, and at the same time feeling like you're too dark to care, like it's better to abandon yourself before you find out the truth. Deliver me into my fate. If I'm alone, I cannot hate. I don't deserve to have you. My smile was taken long ago. I see a person here, regardless if this is in relationship to someone else or oneself, regardless if this is two people speaking to one another or one person just telling the other. I see deep pain, turmoil, someone who feels like they are beyond saving. I still press your letters to my lips and cherish them in parts of me that savor every kiss. Was this a breakup? Did they lose someone because a relationship ended? Which also can cause deep turmoil. Or perhaps even worse, did someone succumb to their darkness and ended their life? And this person is now left behind savoring every kiss. I couldn't face a life without your light. All of that was ripped apart when you refused to fight. That line made me think maybe someone did succumb to their struggle with mental health and ended it all. Refusing to fight for this love, this relationship, or fighting to stay. Save your breath, I will not care. I think I made it very clear. You couldn't hate enough to love. Is that supposed to be enough? This part, and this is why this song is so well written, because it really can be taken in different ways to whoever's listening and to whoever is in that pain. It's the cathartic, it's deep emotional pain being put into art that can be therapeutic to the listener. Either if it's about someone ending their life and succumbing to mental health turmoil and leaving the other behind, that pain, that guilt, that anger that comes with all of that? Or is it the end of a relationship and this person saying, save your breath, I will not care. You made it clear you couldn't hate enough to love. We often think that hate is the opposite of love, when actually I think it's indifference. When someone no longer cares, I will not care. When there's indifference, that's the worst thing you can have, when they don't care anymore. When you have resentment and contempt, and that then reaches the place of having nothing left. That's the worst place you can be. Because if you still hate someone, you at least still care. There's still some type of passion. Is that supposed to be enough? I only wish you weren't my friend, then I could hurt you in the end. There's still a level of care for this other human being. I wish you weren't my friend. I wish that you wouldn't have been my friend. It makes the betrayal worse. It makes this pain worse. Because if you weren't, then I could hurt you. It would be less painful, less difficult for me to to get you back. I never claimed to be a saint. My own was banished long ago. It took the death of hope to let you go. The death of hope. Hope had to die for me to be able to let you go. And here too, that duality earlier of saying, oh, you need to let me go, to now saying it took the death of hope for me to let you go. It took hope completely dying, which again, indifference, despair, absolute desperation. When you reach a place where you feel like hope has died, break yourself against my stones and spit your pity in my soul. Absolute poetic lyrics. You never needed any help. You sold me out to save yourself. Now here, I think it is more relational than I would say perhaps about someone leaving and ending their life. But again, music is art is subjective. Deep pain, though, of someone who has completely betrayed you is what I'm hearing here. You never needed any help. Maybe someone who feels so slighted because they thought that they were needed. And that's psychologically, that's a human need. Existentially, we want to feel like we're needed. What is the purpose if I'm just living for myself? I want to feel like I have some type of place, regardless if I'm needed for my children, my spouse, myself, a dog, an animal, a pet, for the environment. Give me purpose. A person without vision perishes. We have to have some type of vision. And vision often includes creating something. We're created to create, as I often say. We were made to do something. Even if it's just producing breath, give me purpose. And when you feel like you thought someone needed help, you have now feel needed in their life. You feel like you have value. When you realize they don't need any help, and you feel like they spit on you, spit your pity in my soul, break yourself against my stones. What does that mean? When you build walls up, you're so hurt and bitter, you're building up these walls, these stones, you now hope that person breaks against it. They're not going to get through to you anymore. They're going to break themselves against the stone wall that you have built, perhaps. You sold me out to save yourself. I won't listen to your shame. You ran away, you're all the same. And now this was interesting to me because it says, you ran away, you're all the same. You all, as in all these women that he's dated, all these people he's opened his heart to, all the people that have ever tried to claimed to want to love him or help him. Maybe a level of betrayal here that reinforces the story that he tells himself, or whoever's singing this and relates to this, the story we're telling ourselves, that is that everybody's the same. I think it's very human to often draw that conclusion. If you've been betrayed deeply by someone who you thought would never hurt you, who promised they wouldn't, and then you realize they didn't need any help, and you can't hurt them back because they're your friend, you cared for them. That's what makes the betrayal so painful. And you then conclude everybody else is just the same. I knew it. Everyone was going to end up betraying me. Sadly, pain will often have us concluding, and I say sadly because it isn't healthy to have hope die. It brings despair. It's painful to suffer alone. We weren't meant to be alone. We're relational creatures. So I say it's sad because it's a painful place to be when you think nobody can be trusted. But I think it's human for us to conclude that when we get betrayed by someone, and it's happened more than once, perhaps in different ways. And now our mind concludes, well, everyone is the same. This is the story, how the story goes. And that's where in therapy, I think it's important for us to ask in the here and now, what does this mean? Because whatever has been broken in relationship can be restored through relationship. It just may not be the relationship with that same person. Angels lie to keep control. Interesting, because earlier in the beginning we had language about innocence that made me think this is a full circle fitting to a picture of something we would compare to innocence. Angels make us think of innocence. And here we're saying angels lie to keep control. Was she a supposed angel, this person, or he or she, the person that hurt him? But they lie to keep control. This is all a game. My love was punished long ago. If you still care, don't ever let me know. Wow. And then to tag that and to end on that note of that feeling of, if you still care, if there's any part of you that still cares, that is not fully indifferent to what you've put me through, to the pain you're causing me, don't let me know. I can't bear to get any more hope up. I can't bear to be hurt again. I have nothing left. This is indifference. This is a stone wall. My soul is dark. My heart is weary. I can't destroy what isn't there. The love I thought we had, the angel I thought you were, it's all gone. To me, I think this is a song about absolute feeling betrayed, absolute destruction and pain of a soul, of someone's heart. Maybe for other people, it may be a parallel to someone struggling with their mental health, that turmoil and battle within yourself, or having lost someone who is really, gone. But as the lyrics in a whole, in the context, I feel like most likely it's the betrayal of someone, a breakup, a separation, deep, deep pain. And I wonder, though, what it means specifically to him. The song Snuff, written by Corey Taylor, is a raw ballad about profound heartbreak, emotional betrayal, and the painful process of letting go. It explores themes of unrequited love, codependency, and the death of hope in a relationship. Taylor has noted it represents navigating immense disappointment in the aftermath of a corrupting love. Okay, yeah. Some of the first verses had me thinking it could be someone who betrayed and left you and abandoned you and gave into the darkness of their heart, mentally, mental health, and the end of life. But no, in context as a whole, it fits that this is about heartbreak. And my gosh, it's so interesting to me to keep seeing songs that don't end on a happy note, but that are so therapeutic because they carry and portray so accurately the depth of human pain. And there is a need for that. And there's a time and a place for that. Life cannot be put into one single song. The seasons of life can't be put into one single song. And music is art, and it'll carry us through in different ways, in different genres, different times, and it will affect us in various ways. And I feel like this song is so fitting when you're in that darkness and you're experiencing that deep pain and that deep betrayal. And it's necessary sometimes for us to also allow ourselves to sit in that, not to stay in it. No, shouldn't be the only song we ever listen to for the rest of our lives. Darkness and heartbreak isn't a healthy place to be 24/7 for the rest of your existence. But there is a time and a place to embrace that pain and to be honest about it without trying to conclude with a happy thought in the end. Sometimes that is the therapy, to get the good cry, to have a cathartic moment, to sit in just how painful this is, to really feel it, because everything is transient and those tears will dry and that pain will change its feeling into something else, even if it's rage or anger or deeper pain, but it will change. There is change. And eventually, hopefully, that grief can turn into some type of acceptance or peace or some type of new hope for something else. But I appreciate the honesty. Goodness gracious. You guys make some great suggestions. What are your thoughts on this? What does this song mean to you? Has it been personal in your life? And if so, and you've experienced this type of just betrayal and disappointment, how do songs like this affect you? Do they add to the healing journey? Do they allow you to have a cathartic experience and work through it in order to find new healing? Do they pull you down and cause the opposite effect, that they just bring you even more dismay? Talk to me in the comments. I'd like to know how this makes you feel, what you think about. Subscribe. Make sure to hit the like and the share button if you like, to click the bell so you don't miss my next video. And I'll see you on the next ride. Heyo!